When we talk about blocking shots, Mark Williams. Mark
Yep.
Williams about
Oh
blocking
yeah.
shots, man. I mean, this kid is going to the draft, which we hate. We love to see it for him. We hate to see it for us because finally we're like, wow, we have a center that can play. 6 blocks against Gonzaga, 6 against Gardner Webb, okay, whatever. But 6 against Miami, 5 against Fullerton, 5 against Michigan State. He finished with 97 dunks on the season, so he was above the rim on both ends of the floor, which is apparently, Eric, you said it was one behind Marvin Bagley for most all time in a Duke season.
Wow.
And the only player to shoot over 70% from the floor and 70% from the free throw line. Justin, your take as far as like, where does he end up?
Oh man, he was so much fun to watch as well. Again, remember, he's almost like little Duke royalty. You got the picture of him at his sister's like commitment ceremony where he's like ripping off the jacket. He's got the Duke shirt, and then he blossomed into obviously just a tremendous basketball player. And he had almost exponential growth too from last season. This season, he's surrounded by great players, so the offensive load isn't necessarily on him, which was great. And yeah, he did what he needed to do. He was unbelievably disruptive defensively. He would always alter a shot no matter what. And the only like knock against him was I'd say he probably didn't get nearly as many rebounds as I think we would have expected him to. And maybe that was a little bit from the defense we were playing and he was getting pulled out of position a lot. But I think that'll improve as he gets to the NBA. The other piece is he's probably going to need to put on a little bit more size, a little bit more muscle for the NBA. But if you have a rim protector and a shot blocker, like that translates into the NBA. So he's going to be, a pretty high pick right now. He's 14th on CBS's big board. I think he's going to go, again, depending upon where teams kind of jockey and what their needs are. I could see him going in the top 20, and he's going to, he's not going to be the guy who's the starting center first day, but, he's going to rotate in. He's going to get a lot of minutes and he's going to continue to grow, and he'll be, he's going to have a great NBA career.
Yeah. I was probably go check the record back when we did, who is this Mark Williams coming to Duke? And I was guys, this is going to be amazing. I was like,
wait, is that what you actually said in that video?
No, I don't know. He seems like has really good energy. I mean, he definitely loves to dunk it. I'm summarizing and paraphrasing here, but I remember the first thing I looked up, I think when I saw him, I was like, okay, you have a 7-footer. And then, I think the weight at the time, he seemed a little skinny. I feel like if you look at it, we probably said like, he's going to put on 15, 20 pounds, over the course of his freshman year. And then, when we found out he's obviously going to stay, it was even better because it's going to happen again. And you could go look at him last season and this season. I mean, completely different. I mean, haircut and everything, but like also got bigger, just more shape. But you just see it fill out, and then you just realize what that strength translates to each year. You add those little increments, and the different things you can do, more athletic, jumping. But also, it's just, I mean, when you think about, you always forget about big guys that you don't see a lot. It's all the energy and strength that it takes to work on those positioning when you're posting up or keeping a guy off the block. I mean, that's where a lot of it goes. You don't really see it as much because the cameras, your eye is following the ball until it gets there. But, the amount of times you keep another team's center from being in offensive position, like that's where that strength really comes to play. I think when we first saw him as a recruit, we didn't know his offensive skill set. I mean, coming out of high school, it's obviously he was super big for high school. It's a lot of dunking, which you did that here too. Kept it going. And this season in particular, you talk about his field goal percentage and stuff, but there was times like, you see his free throw shooting ability. It's a smooth shot. And there was a couple times he did pull like a little mid-range jumper. I think he has a good shot. Like it looks good. It looks smooth. I literally think it's like, why, it's like settling with his other skill set to get to the rim and dunk, and also just be there for rebounds and putbacks and all the other ways he scores closer to the rim, that, the shot is for him is like, he's like, oh, I use it when I have to, but he has it. And, that's something that's, nowadays in the NBA, I mean, center's got to shoot. Yeah. So I think he has it. We just didn't get to see in as many Duke games because he didn't have to resort to that, because he could score clearly other ways. More, when you're talking about like even like a short mid-range jumper, which you think for like a college player, like should be a pretty routine shot at practices all the time, but a dunk success rate, 99%, right? So it's if you're talking about, oh, can I make the extra move and dribble to close that, 8 to 9 feet, which is like a step for him to do, and then go up, like, yeah, I'm going to try that move before, doing this. He has the skills. And I think, obviously the NBA scouts and NBA teams know that. I'm sure if he demonstrates it at a combine or anything, I mean, the wingspan alone, when he saw he's 7 feet tall, and has this wingspan, I was just like, dude, I'm so happy we're finally going to have like a center that's like defensive first and then offense. Because we've had Marvin Bagley, Joe Okafor. Those guys were, they were good on defense as well. But primarily, there was like their thing was offense, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, rebounding and offense, they were pals. He was the other way, which worked out great because then you also had Banchero that handled that role on offense, and he was just there to clean it up. I mean, I think that's the biggest thing is he complimented everyone else by either rebounding. When he talked about why he doesn't have as many rebounds as you would expect. Look at how many times, it's not a stat that they report on the official stat sheet, but the coaches would have a box that they check how many times he just tipped it to keep it alive. Because I mean, he's covered a lot of ground. You can't always get two hands on it, but the amount of times he just kept the ball alive, just batted it out. Someone else could get it and kept someone else got the ball, gets the rebound. I think if you had that number, it's like, 9 rebounds and 6 tip outs that got recovered by Duke again, easy.
Yeah.
I think that was more valuable. Also, kind of by definition, if you're the guy that's most of the time going up to be all up in this actual shooter's face, you're generally less likely to be the one that also gets the rebound because you're literally coming down and have to turn around. So I think that was part of it because he was also always in everyone's face. Yeah. So, I mean, for every, the blocks. Yeah,
he was going always. It was always for the block, almost always for the block, which is okay because that was his job. His job was to protect them. There's 3 other things that I want to mention. Yeah. His physicality obviously got so much better. Thank you, Theo John, for that. Yep. Absolutely. Because he was having to bang up against Theo, and Theo is no pushover, as we all saw.
The enforcer of the team.
He was exactly. Williams was able to run the court so well. How many times did we hear, especially during the last 6-7 games, where we would get the board and then he was just down the court and it would just be for an easy dunk or an easy layup, and then he would be sprinting back. He ran the court so well for a big guy. And then last year to this year, even at the beginning of the season, and I know Ritz commented on this a lot, he would hesitate and he would be very authoritative at first to go up with the ball. How many dunks did he have where he just did not care? He got the board, went straight up, and then just absolutely slammed it down on everybody. And then he would do the head pat thing.
Oh yeah, like the one against Arkansas, Texas Tech.
Texas Tech, right?
Yeah, this one. I'll throw the
so
there, yeah.
He stopped hesitating. He would get the ball and he was up, straight up, versus get it, bounce up and down a couple times, then they converge on him and it makes his field goal percentage would go down just based on that alone. So he made those changes and it made him such a dynamic player for someone who is a shot blocker and a dunker, right? He added those other little elements to it, especially in the NBA. If he's able to get down the court in the NBA as a center, come on,